Good morning, darling. Naima Singletary here, spiritual business advisor to accomplished and spiritually gifted women business owners who are dedicated to stepping into their power like never before, birthing their signature work and letting it get really good. And in 2019, I literally just walked out of my cardio class, washed my hands, and came here. So I have not even had a really good chance to catch my breath, but it's all good. It is all good. I'm so grateful to even be here in class, to even have the physical fortitude and the mind that got me up and out this morning. So I wish that for you. I wish that for you when it gets hard. For those of you who have made goals, who have decided to institute habits that directly confront the lower nature part of you, that directly confronts the part of you that likes to quit when it gets hard or where you don't feel like it. I wish that for you, and I ask that you set that up for yourself. The being grateful when it's good and it feels good and it's happy and it's easy, but then also cultivating being able to dig into yourself when you're in the bed and you don't want to get out, when it's warm and you don't want to get out because it's cold outside, when it feels so much better to just lay in the bed and you know you're going to have to go push in class, that in those moments, in those singular decisive moments that you say, I am going because I made the decision that I was going to be unrecognizable to myself by Christmas 2019, that I was going to be unrecognizable to myself come Christmas 2019. I'm telling you, because that's where it counts. That's where it counts. So today's topic is speak, Melanin Messenger, speak. Speak, Melanin Messenger, speak. So all this week I've been talking about Melanin Messenger, Melanin Messenger, Melanin Messenger. And let me define Melanin Messenger. And you can also follow me on Instagram because I'm also sharing about Melanin Messenger there. I'm on Instagram at Naima Singletary. At Naima Singletary on Instagram. So a melanin messenger is a male or female who most people will call a black person, who is, their purpose in life is to affect massive positive change through speaking and or writing and the form of entrepreneurship, okay? Male or female, who most people will call black, whose purpose is to affect positive, massive positive change through speaking and or writing through entrepreneurship. That's what a melanin messenger is, okay? And the reason why I wanted to talk about speak, Melanin Messenger, speak is because in my experience being a melanin messenger and knowing other melanin messengers who are not as visible as they'd like to be, not as influential as they'd like to be, not making as much money as they'd like to be, not feeling as confident and as far ahead as they'd like to be, oftentimes there's ideas that are swirling in our heads that simply need to be spoken. And so speaking is not always getting on a stage and speaking to an audience, although obviously, ultimately, that's what you want to be able to do, right? Get on a stage and speak your message. What is it that you're here to deliver to the world? However, on the path to emerging, on the path to stepping into your power like never before, all of a sudden I got this impulse to like turn the camera around so you can see my surroundings. Maybe later. So on the path to really coming out in a bold way and speaking the thing that you want to speak and being who you really are and delivering your signature message, speak it out to yourself. Speak it out to other people. Run your ideas around. And so first of all, let me park that and let me just say this is something I'm going to talk more about next week. And I have to make a note because it literally just came to me while I was in class, is that when you're birthing signature work, it is scary. I want to acknowledge that it's scary. And many of us do not have somebody who is even far enough along on their path to even be with us in this kind of conversation. People who love us, people who care about us, people who we sleep with, they are not even oftentimes at a capacity to be able to really be present with you and really see you when you are birthing something signature, birthing something that is not yet seen. And so you deserve to be loved and seen through that process. I'm going to talk more about this next week because it just really dropped into my spirit in class, doing my leg kicks and stuff, that That is so important. So when I talk about, go back to what I parked, right? I parked and I said, having somebody to speak it to, right? As you're preparing a talk, or you're preparing to come on video aggressively, as you're preparing to really get visible and heightening your publicity and power and presence, speaking behind closed doors to other people, and you deserve to have somebody who you can speak to. So find somebody who you can speak to. So when I say speak, Melanin Messenger, speak, I don't mean just on a stage. I don't mean just on a video. I mean speak it out loud to yourself. Because see, when it's in here, it's sort of like it swims with all the other crap that's not helping us get anywhere. But then when you speak it out of your mouth, you're like, oh, it has another dimension, because you get to hear yourself. And you're like, oh, and then your ideas start to get more textured and built out, right? Because when it's in the brain, it's just typically it's linear, and then it starts to develop in typically in not a direction we want it to go. Or it takes, unless you have cultivated a mind, right? Then yes, you can. And even still, it's kind of like behind closed doors. As opposed to when you start to speak it out and you start to feel it vibrate in your body. Words are things, right? Words are things, so you start to speak these things out of your mouth and they vibrate, and you hear yourself say it sometimes, and you're like, what? And then when you hear yourself say it to another person, this is the power of finding somebody who can listen to you speak, somebody who can listen to you just run your ideas through, it's just like, because I was thinking about like having somebody there, and you just start going with your idea, because I had this idea that maybe I would go, here and speak to this group, but then I was thinking, no, that doesn't even make sense. And then you're like, what the hell was I thinking, right? And then you just start to really be able to play with it. So then as you build it out, and then if you have a commitment, let's say you have a commitment to speak, on 10 stages in the next 90 days, or you have a goal of crossing the $500,000 mark this year, or, just like real metrics that you can measure, right? If you have the metric that you're measuring, that's your goal, and you start engaging in these things, all of a sudden you start getting solutions to things, because you're speaking to somebody that can handle you speaking. You're getting texture, you're getting layer, you're getting ideas. Then you start getting into action. You start feeling more confident to get into action, and right? This is the power of speaking. So don't be ill-informed to think that when I say speaker, that I'm only talking about speaking on a stage, and I'm even only talking about speaking to a big audience. What if you're speaking to an audience of 3, right? An audience of 1, audience of just yourself? That is speaking as well. Oh my God, how do I look? Lord have mercy, Jesus. This is what it's going to be, you guys. Let me say this, right, for the record. So I have made a commitment to work out minimum 4 days a week, minimum. Right? Probably going to be more like, if we include, because I'm going to be stretching at least 5 days a week. 5 or 6, because I'm telling you, it makes such a difference in my mood, how I feel in my body. So anyway, my point is, I'm a not early morning person, but I prefer to do my things in the morning. I prefer to work out in the morning. I prefer to start working out, doing my actual business work in the morning. I prefer to do all that in the morning. And so sometimes I'm gonna show up in my workout stuff. And I have a lot of these t-shirts, so you'll see me in the same t-shirt, particularly on the days that I'm coming here to the gym. Because sometimes there's a lake around my house near that I can walk to, so sometimes I'll be there. Maybe I'll do, I'm just telling you that to know that sometimes I might not look so done up because I, stack things in the morning, because a moving thing keeps going. Once a thing in motion stays in motion. So it's like I start working out, and then I come and do this video, and then I'll go and do an Instagram live, and then I'll do some videos for Instagram or LinkedIn, and right, keep myself in motion. And that'll fluctuate and all that, but I just wanted to let you know that for those of you who are vain like me and are very looking at appearances. So, do I have any homework for you today? Yes, speak. Start speaking out loud, right? You might call it speaking to yourself, talking to yourself. I find myself talking out loud to myself all the time. So what I want you to do starting today is, as you're thinking of things, start to say it out loud. Look how easy that is, right? It's one of those things that's easy to do and easy not to do. So your homework is for today. Start for today. Give yourself 2 days, today and tomorrow, to start to speak your ideas out. And speak it through, so what I'm like this, right? So I had this idea that I would put together this summit. And what I would do is I would have 10 speakers No, 10 speaker, right? Because then when you hear yourself say it, it's like, no, not 10. I'd rather have 20, or I'd rather have 5, or whatever, right? And you're like, we would set up here, and then we would do this, and oh, but you know what? I think, oh yeah, let's do that. And start doing that, right? And in the meantime, find somebody who you can start to speak your signature work out loud to. The message that you intend to deliver, who you know that you are, what you know that is meant for you to help people transform or step into or become or have or do or be. Start to find somebody who has the capacity to really be with you. Not somebody who just listens because they're trying to be nice or because they love you, but somebody who really has spiritual intelligence, high-level consciousness. Remember, the theme for this year is the spirit of highness, the spirit of highness, the spirit of highness, the spirit of highness, the spirit of highness. The theme is the spirit of highness, the spirit of highness, the spirit of highness, the spirit of highness. And lastly, what I'm doing is I am putting together mini bios of accomplished melanin messengers who I personally know, and some who I know as like a second degree person, and putting us all in touch with each other, because I'm building out a global network of accomplished melanin messengers who are really hungry to be among, in sisterhood, in tribe. I've never seen anything like this. Accomplished, when I say accomplished, I mean minimum 6 figures and up, right? Who are really interested, not even interested, but are hungry for higher conversations, higher levels of consciousness, open-heartedness, really engaging in fourth dimension and higher faculties and ways of living and being. We're not interested in all that stuff, but really doing our great work in the world. Many of us have lived a lot of our dreams. We have more dreams to go. We have fulfilled a lot of our selfish desires. We've had a lot of the real estate and the expensive handbags and the opulent travel, and but we still want more of that, right? The opulent travel for sure. But we want to be with each other. We want to be around other melanin messengers to really overcome those things that are inevitable on the path of ascension. That internal stuff, and the stuff that's really exclusive to being a melanin messenger. To really engage in the heart work, the spirit work, the consciousness work, the state of being, so that we become greater leaders, so that we become more happier, whole people, good people who are doing lots of great work in the world. And my experience is in so many of these masterminds and tribes and communities, so many times I have been the only Black woman or one of 2. And I'm just done. I'm tired of that. And not being seen in my colossalness, my fucking A, right? And then frankly, oftentimes being the most powerful woman in the room, right? And then like, melanin messengers, you know what I'm talking about, when you're the only Black woman in the room or one of a couple, and then what that's like, right? So we want to be around each other. We want to, talk about what's working, what's not working, what charities we're supporting, how we're growing our businesses. Having those conversations that really make a difference in our spirit, that helps us to go out into the world and feel supported and seen and abundant, rich from the inside, so then we can pour out. Oh, dear God, do you feel me? So this is an invite-only community with 6- and 7-figure players. And if you're feeling this, if you're a melanin messenger and you're feeling this and you know that you belong here, I want you to get in contact with me, because I want to put together a bio for you to start to introduce us and see what women want to really come in closely and be a part of this over a year-long experience. I have some travel that I'm planning and looking at who wants to be a part of that. We're looking at some European travel, some beautiful places. One place I've been to, one place I haven't, but just beautiful, opulent, beautiful, beautiful, enriching travel. So I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for being here with me. I welcome you. All the kiddies are coming. Let me show you what's going on here. There's rock climbing. That's a wall for rock climbing. And there are the kids. Anyway, so lots of love, darlings. And I will be back here Monday with a whole new list of topics for the week. I really look forward to next week. One topic I will be talking about is deserving. Not like do you deserve, but like how much we deserve to have somewhere to drop our signature work before we birth it to the world. Jesus Christ, right? You deserve that. You deserve that. Have a great weekend.